Intuitive Guidance to Inspire Your Life is an inspirational hour that'll take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jenn Royster is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Imagine having the ability to use your innate positive energy to dissolve the stuckness in your life, whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual, through this incredible dynamic show. Get ready to be transformed from Dr. Jenn's live guided healing meditations and intuitive readings, and unveil the power of connecting to spirit, the angels, and your higher self. Dr. Jenn is passionate about helping you find the answers you're looking for through an inward journey that'll strengthen your connection to spirit and help you trust your intuition. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jenn Royster.
Hello everyone, welcome to the show. I'm Dr. Jenn, and today we're going to talk about Pisces. Pisces in, like Saturn in Pisces, okay? I'm sorry, we talked about Pisces a couple weeks ago. This is about a significant astrological event in astrology that will last until 2026. So this just happened. We had a full moon yesterday, the 7th, 8th, we had a full moon, and now we have Saturn going into Pisces, and it will last for 3 years. It's coming out of a different sign, so it's significant because it's Saturn in Pisces. And we're going to explain, whoa, that's like so two opposite energies and working together, so that's kind of interesting. So I thought this would be a good show for that because we got this for 3 years. We have an opportunity to work with this. One of the, there's things about Saturn that people go, whoa, I don't know about that. You know, Saturn's the Lord of Karma, the stern teacher, it's lessons, responsibility. So what does that mean in Pisces, which is a very fluid sign, mutable, flexible, spiritual, creative, a very different, softer side, different everything. It's about as opposite as that, because Saturn is about following the rules and kind of rigid, and when it's in certain signs like Capricorn, it can be very rigid, which we've experienced already. But now it's going into a different type of sign, so it's going to have a focus in different areas. And believe it or not, one of the things I'm seeing, and I have done a lot of homework on this one because it's significant. It doesn't, I mean, for 3 years, it's going to be a few years that will be in this one. What can we do with this energy? Because it's so opposite, like light, dark, you know, the yin, the yang, the positive, the negative. And it's not even a negative, really. It's more of a, we're going to follow the rules, or we're going to be more fluid and creative and out of the box. That's more of how I see Pisces. So for creative types, which I admit I'm one of those, I'm looking forward to this energy. The other thing is that Saturn energy could make you feel like, oh, I just want to go all over and just do. And then at the same time, Saturn is here to teach us how to do that and stay grounded and bring it into a tangible form. Bring it into a way that it can work better. So honestly, we've got two opposite sides here, but I'm looking forward to this actually, because I see this being, we can be our true self, which is more Pisces. You want to be your true self, but you want to be grounded, you want to feel stable, you want to feel strong, you want to feel like you have that self-discipline to see it through. You may have passions and you just really, really want something to come off the ground. With the Saturn energy, you can do that. So it's allowing these two that seem so opposite to work together. So I thought, how interesting. Now the other side of it, as I was doing some homework, was we will still have lessons because Saturn is the teacher, okay? Considered the stern teacher, but it can come in a little easier because of the Pisces in there. So you have the ability to be to tap into the energy of being a little bit more flexible and going with this flow and learning your lessons and finding that discipline that's going to work, or finding the way where you can stand on your 2 feet and be in control and be organized and have a product that's successful, or a relationship that's successful, whatever it is that you are working on with your energies there. This is going to be interesting to watch. I think we're going to see different aspects, because Pisces is a very spiritual sign. It's going to be about your belief system. That throws in whether it, a lot of people identify as spirituality right now, then there's religion, and it is, you might find that things are just so different with all of that, and that will continue to grow and evolve the way it's doing. But if you found that you could have balance by learning your lessons and being responsible, but also being connected to your creative side where you can create brand new, and that's where ideas come to life. That's where the ideas are. That's where you can come up with something better and new and different, and just new beginnings are born. I think it's going to be amazing. So there is a balance here that we're going to be practicing with this kind of energy. And you'll see out there, there's a lot of different perspectives on this. I'm giving you the one that I'm picking up because I work with angels with this. When I see something going on in astrology, I always go right to the angels and I go, what about this energy? Because they always show me a perspective of hope. They show me a perspective of the possibilities. And yes, Saturn can challenge us. Yes, I'm not going to say it's not. And we will feel challenges, but with a Pisces energy running alongside of it, I find that we are going to be able to find an easier way. Like, say we just don't like change. It might be a lot easier for you to find some adaptabilities or flexibilities to adjust and shift with what you need to do. Because there's places in our lives that we may not want to let go of it, but we know we need to, or different, whatever it might be, and we know we need to do something different, but it's just so hard to make a change, especially if it's a big one. If that is something you identify with, this next 3 years could make it easier for you to do those more difficult ones, because you have more flexibility with Pisces energy. It also helps you tap into your creativity. Here's the thing. Some people feel like they're not creative. They don't have that side to them at all. Actually, we're all born with it. It's just that sometimes it's shut off or closed off for one reason or another. We all go through different experiences. What I like is, here we're going to be able to find our footing, find our balance between flexibility, our creativity, and the other thing about Pisces is you stay connected with your spiritual side. It's easier to stay connected with your angels. It's easier to stay connected with your guides. It's easier to feel those dimensions, to raise your frequency, to live more. It's just easier. You feel the potential there. Okay, you feel the potential, and at the same time, you don't want to be taken advantage of. You don't want to feel gullible. I totally get it. You don't want to feel all these things that are associated with, oh, your head's in the clouds. Because sometimes when Pisces, and especially running with a Neptune type of energy, you can kind of feel there's illusions or you miss it. But not here, not here. That's where Saturn's going to be watching our back. So we might find something there that's like, ooh, I want that, and you're going for it. And then Saturn's going to go, hold on there a minute. Let's look at this and let's learn a couple of things before we go into that path, and I'll help you do that. To me, that is what Michael told me, Archangel Michael, because I asked about this a few days ago. I said, hey, this is interesting energy combinations here. It's significant. This is probably one of the most significant astrological events when you're looking at this from astrology for the whole year of 2023. And it's going to last 3 years. So here's your window of opportunity if you have something you want to get off the ground, new and different, change life directions, things like that. With Saturn keeping you grounded and going, hang on, there's a couple of bumps here we need to work out first. we don't want to look at that as a problem. We want to look at that as, hey, that's watching our back. Okay? Saturn expects us to be responsible for our choices. And we do the best we can as we make them. And you may have made choices years ago, yesterday, you know, whatever, and you don't feel the same way. Or you're not that person that you were when you made those choices. So we, you know, and Saturn, you know, is like, hey, you know, be responsible for what you're deciding to do with your life. Yes, we want to do that. And at the same time, we want to feel grounded. We want to feel logical. Talk about spiritually logical. Not spiritually head in the clouds and you're not paying attention and not thinking it through. This is a good combination for a spiritual based anything, because you can have this spiritual connection and you don't have to leave the grounding or the lot. You don't have to do that. We always talk about being grounded when you're meditating. We always talk about being, you know, spiritually logical on this show. If you're new to the show, we're not about, you know, just going off and not paying attention to what we're doing. I'm never about that. That's not who I am. This is about finding that balance. You want to not be afraid to create something new. You want to not be, you know, hesitant to trust your intuitive hits, because this is not going to have more of a heightened intuition with Pisces energy running through it. So I really like this. And now I wrote an affirmation for this show. I am worthy to find my balance in mind, body, and soul. So it might feel like it's tugging and pulling, but here's what I want you to think about when that happens, because I'm sure I'll feel it too. It's pointing out something that you might need to fine tune or strengthen if it's pulling or tugging you in that way, because they're so opposite. And at the same time, Saturn won't be as intense as it is when it's in a Capricorn energy, for example. We just came out of an Aries energy with it. We're moving into a Pisces energy, which is much more fluid and go and float, you know, it's all like that. And it also represents the light and the dark, the positive, the negative. Pisces does. That's, you know, it reminds me of the yin yang symbol, the opposites of life. I mean, there's both. You don't know what good is if you've never seen, you know what I mean? They highlight each other. It's hard to explain, but we all have these sides to us. And we can take those sides of us that maybe we don't like, or we try to stuff down and we don't want to pay attention to, and accept that that's a part of us. Accept that that's a part of me. Yeah, I get that way sometimes. I get out of sorts or whatever it is you don't like. And how can you redirect that energy into something that would be more beneficial? That would be the way of a self-acceptance of the whole. Because we're all both, all of us are. So that's part of that. So it did complete that karmic cycle in Aquarius. So I'm going to give you a little bit more detail about this now, because this is just good to me. I'm excited about it. I wanted to give it to you guys. I want to say hello and welcome if you're joining me in the live chat. It's good to see you guys there. I see some familiar faces. And before I start, just to let you know, I wasn't planning on being gone for 2 weeks this past time. Those are those things that are unexpected that come up. And that was beyond my control, because we had to have, you know, electrical things fixed, and the appointment was Thursday at 11 last week. The week before that, you know, we were tending with Emmy. You know, Emmy's older and she needed us that day. So these things happen. So if I'm all of a sudden, you know, that's, like I said, I'm here, but I have a family too, so we're taking care of that. So that's what happened with that, you know. And I'm not one to get on the social medias and whine about it. And I'm not saying that people that put that out there for support are doing that. It's just that that's not me. I'm a little bit more, I just take care of what I got to take care of. So that's me. And so I missed you guys for 2 weeks, and I just wanted to let you know that's what it was. I mean, they had to come out, and work on it, and when you have you either take that appointment or you wait 2 months, and it was important. We need electricity to run the show. So that's what was going on with that. Okay, so, and I do feel for everyone going through all that weather out there, there is all kinds of stuff. It's an interesting time, and Earth is just cleaning up everything, I'll tell you that. So let's go into this Saturn. So first, let me tell you a little bit about, it just went through the karmic cycle in Aquarius. When it went into Aquarius in December of 2020, now think about December of 2020 when I tell you that. It's good to go over this part because then you can connect and relate to how this energy flows for you. Now, it first moved into Aquarius back in 2020, and that was known as the Great Conjunction. It was kind of this alignment, and that's what it was called in astrology, which is a rare alignment that unfolds Saturn in Aquarius energy. So that's what that was. Now we're at the end of that cycle. If you think back to themes and patterns and lessons that were unfolding for you in December of 2020, which we were in the middle of the pandemic then. So everybody was going through something, you know. What was going on for you, if you can recall that? That's why I like the journaling, guys. It really helps you. And it helps you relate to the things that we're doing on the show as we proceed forward, if you're keeping track a little bit. Now, where have you had to set boundaries somewhere? So in that timeline, was there boundaries you needed? These are questions to ask yourself. Where have you had to take responsibility for something in your life and step up and go to the plate and take your turn? Like, hey, you know, I'll take care of this, you know. I'm not expecting somebody to do it for me. You know, that kind of thing. Where have you felt held back? These are good questions to ask yourself. Now, that's the energy of Saturn, okay? It asks us to keep it real, be honest with ourselves, not pretend and lie to ourselves, basically. And it inspires us to connect deeper with what we really want and what we need to take responsibility for. What do we really want? If we really want something that we just can't figure out how to bring it into our life, we need to take that responsibility to take action on it. That's one way to look at it. I know. So Saturn is, you know, known as the strict teacher, and it can bring at times some tough lessons, but because it pushes us to see what our full potential is. We don't realize what we're capable of sometimes, and Saturn can do that. Saturn can show us, you know, you're stronger than you think, you're more capable of much more than you're allowing yourself to do. That kind of thing. We find our wisdom through things like that. Now, not everything has to be that way, but we find that we grow up spiritually on a soul level, and wisdom in our mind and our choices, and just being aligned with where we want to be, standing up, making those boundaries where we need to, or whatever it is we got to do. And Saturn, known as the Lord of Karma, you know, as it travels through every single sign of the zodiac. So, and it takes a while. So it's doing all these checks and balances, basically. It's making sure as it goes through each sign, we're working on that area of what that sign brings. Okay, this is according to the astrology, okay? So here's a cool part that you can do some homework yourself. If you know your birth chart, if you know it, you can see which house Saturn's been going through while it was in Aquarius to see what might be more isolated for you. Now, you can also see where Pisces would be for now, but then you can see that. Now, if Saturn is on the move and we're going to feel a shift, and here we are feeling a shift. If you're not feeling the shift, I don't know how anybody could not be feeling the shift, but maybe some people aren't. But there's a lot, everything just feels so different. For me, I just feel like it's just not the same. Even eating something that is a healthy thing, it's like, no, that's not what my body wants right now. Nope, needs something else. It was very, it's just like, it's not the same. You might feel different about some things. But old Saturn and Aquarius lessons are reaching and closing and wrapping up and tying up the loose ends. It's closing out, and it's already there. So before it leaves Aquarius, which it's done, I'm just giving you that history, it will also make sure you get the rewards for everything you worked hard on during that, if you were working on your lessons. So see, it's not always about coming down on you hard, it's about the rewards as well. Okay, that's what that's about. So ancient astrologers, they believed that when Saturn exited a zodiac sign, it always left a gift. That would be your karmic reward. And it was to help remind you of all the hard work you did. So as you're looking back over that was where we just left. So you can kind of relate to what we're talking about, because we're going to talk about what's going on with Pisces. But looking back a little bit at the Aquarius energy that's closing up and leaving, you can see where it related. December of 2020 is what you're looking at. What was going on? From December 2020 to now, how much have you grown? What have you learned? Where, things like that. So now we're getting ready for the new cycle here, and now we're looking for the gifts for that. So we want to stay open to what comes our way. We want to honor any of the lessons we've got to do. So as it moves into Pisces, let's look at that. Today is March 9th. We had a full moon in Pisces, and the Saturn went into Pisces on the 7th, 8th. So yesterday, the day before, we're still feeling that little bit of energy from the full moon. It peaked on that time. Here we are the 9th. It was just, we're in it, okay? It happened. We're in the Saturn and Pisces now. So depending on where you are in your time zone was where that was. So the location of Saturn in your birth chart, your zodiac chart, indicates where society is being forced to gain, a reality check as a collective. So not just our one birth chart, but just basically the location of it. So, and now we're taking greater responsibility as a group. But this also will be on an individual basis, because honestly, the most important thing, I truly believe, and this is where I'm coming from, the most important thing you could ever do for the world, for everything, for the collective, is to make sure you're working on you to bring your vibration up. The more of us that do that, the more of that's out there. It's kind of coming from within to go out. So that to me is probably one of the most powerful things you could ever do, because sometimes we feel like, I can't do anything about that. I don't have that kind of money to put into that donation, or I'm not powerful enough. Absolutely, you are powerful enough to make sure that you're bringing your vibration up, which is part of the grid, the part of the energy that collects and connects to something better. So that's why I'm saying that. So now we're going into the last sign. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. That's the last one before you begin a new chapter. Remember, that's Aries. So if Saturn's moving into this one, this indicates a completion point for the bigger cycle. So for the next 3 years, shifting. Okay, we're finishing something here. So you could think of Saturn's move into Pisces like, we're all processing, we're moving through the karmic lessons, the gifts of Saturn as it went through all of the zodiac. So now we're at the end. Pisces is a water sign, and it represents light and dark, okay? Like I said, it represents the light and dark. It represents the unseen. It's the spirituality side. It's known for creativity. It's known for going with the flow. It's known for compassion. It's known for just being adaptable, free-flowing, open to the energies around. And here you got Saturn behind it going, yes, but let's be grounded and let's make sure we know what we're doing. So that's how it's going to feel a little bit. Saturn's very grounded, earthy energy. Very earthy and grounded. So it rules over law See, Saturn's about the law, the boundaries, restrictions, responsibilities, things like that. So energy with Saturn can feel, you know, like a reality check. Like, okay, stop lying to yourself. Be honest with yourself. You know, don't pretend here. Don't lie to yourself, kind of thing. And Saturn's presence in the Pisces, it can feel heavy sometimes with that at the beginning. Especially if you are a Pisces, you're going to feel Pisces energy even more. But we all feel it somewhere in our zodiac signs, you know, in our chart. And you know, it can feel a little heavy, but it's just grounding. It's more of a, think of that weight as it's just making sure you don't float completely off into the oblivion. Okay, it's actually keeping you grounded. So it's like being present and grounded in your experience with that spiritual side. So it's, you know, Pisces can feel heavy, like a little bit, but it doesn't have to be a negative thing. That's why I'm bringing that up. It's normally like, you know, Pisces is normally watery, intuitive. You know, you might feel a little bit more like it's nudging you aggressively or forcing you. It might feel like, wait, I feel a little more reserved. I'm not quite sure. It's just asking you to be present, to really double check. It's kind of like just double checking your math. Make sure it added up right. So you're not going naively out there. It's not to be afraid to go out there. It's just to be, it's wiser. It's bringing the wisdom in to the creative side, because creative side can just fly with no restrictions. Where you have Saturn coming in, bringing that, we want to practice working on the balance between the two. That's the goal here. So there's a way to create balance between these two energies. Okay, you have the creative, you have intangible, out there ideas with Pisces. You can gain a reality with that, with Saturn. And then it can allow, and this is the best part, think about it, and I said it earlier, but if you allow these two to find a balance and work together, now those ideas that come from that creative Pisces side and the spiritual ideas can actually come through in a tangible way with Saturn energy. They can come through into this world if there was something that you really wanted to do. So this is a great opportunity for the two, because Saturn is about, let's keep this real in the physical world here. Pisces is all about something that hasn't even been created yet. It can be abstract, it can be over here, it can be over there. It's going to harness that amazing creative energy to bring it through in a tangible way. So that's what I want you to hear. That excites me so much about this energy. And when I asked Michael about that, he said, absolutely. You don't want to be afraid of it. You want to work with it. You want to embrace the two sides that will, and either you're very grounded, maybe you relate more to the Saturn energy, and the Pisces energy feels weird to you. It could be the opposite for you. You still want to be able to work with the two. One might feel more foreign because they're so opposite. If you can find a middle ground where you're using a little bit of both, that's going to be incredibly powerful for you with what you want to manifest and bring into your life moving forward. We have 3 years of this amazing connection here. So I like that. So it's kind of like if Pisces was this idea, and I'll use my own, what I do with artwork. If I had a painting I wanted to do, and Pisces was the idea of what I wanted to paint, Saturn would be me picking up the paintbrush and putting it on a canvas. Okay? So you would relate that to what you're trying to bring into your life. So in the real world, if you are a creative, if you are inventive, if you work in the spiritual field, like I do, Saturn might help you here. Take those ideas, give them something to build on, make them better. Maybe they're already out there. Maybe it'll grow into something different. I'm really opening myself up. I feel that opening up to something completely different, but at the same time still connected to what I'm about. Like I love creative stuff. I love artwork. I love painting. I love being here and sharing ways for people to find their connection and raise their frequency on the spiritual thing. For me, the two worlds have to work together. And if they don't, I don't feel like I'm complete. So that's an example. So I don't know what it would be for you, but you might feel a little bit more, and that might be why I'm feeling it a little bit more, because it is a little bit more about that, okay? Saturn is very grounded, it's practical, so you put that with that creativity of Pisces, now you got a balance to help you achieve something. So that's why I'm looking forward to it. I believe that no matter who you are, whether you think you're creative or not, or whatever it is you got going on, it could be relationships, it could be boundaries, it could be whatever, this energy together can help you achieve something that's been very difficult for you to achieve. Maybe your spiritual awakening has been bumpy and you've been working on beliefs and letting go of old ones, or just trying to figure out where you want to be with all this, and maybe you don't like change, something like that. This is going to help you. This is going to help you grow so much. So that's the other thing. And Michael was very enthusiastic about embracing both. And when you feel like, oh, Saturn's trying to give you a hard time, immediately he said, just ask me to remind you. And so I did. I said, remind me when I start to feel that way. And it's already happened in the last week. And I was like, oh, of course. So now I'll just go, okay, Saturn, I got you. And I just keep going, and it helps me during the day. And then I was like, because, Pisces energy for a creative mind is super like elixir, and you just want to be in that all the time. But it's like, no, we're going to do this, but we're going to do it this way. This is the way this is working. So Pisces is very connected to your beliefs, whether it's religious, spirituality, whatever you want to call it. Saturn there can kind of, there's, Saturn being, the rules, follow the rules, be responsible, things like that. The spiritual and the spiritual wellness industry, you might be really feeling this, and you might be able to get some things off the ground that will, but it could be a wake-up call, like what's not real out there. And I'll be honest with you, it doesn't matter which way you look in the angles, there's some things out there that, you may question. It might be something that was a big deal for you at one point, and then now it's like, I don't know about that anymore. Saturn prompts you to question it. And is this still where you want to be, or do you want to move into something different? And that's what this is saying to you, whether it's here or somewhere else or whatever. It's, your attitudes and beliefs are going to really start to feel like they're shifting, changing. You're going to want to change them, but you're going to want to have some wisdom about you. You don't want to feel like you're just following something blindly. I would never want you to follow me blindly. I don't want you to do that. Anything I'm sharing with you, I share passionately from my heart that has helped me. And you take that, and if it doesn't work for you, you leave it and you go find what does. But what I do want, my intention is that I inspire you to find what works, whether it's what I'm talking about or not. That's the most important thing I want to give you to do is this. That's what I want. I don't want it to be like just do it. It's not like there's this one cookie cutter rule to spirituality or to connect with your angels or your guides or whatever it is that you want to do. You're wanting to find the way that works for you. I can share all day long how it works for me, but it's not like this, okay, do it this way and that's it. I've never believed that. I believe that people will find different ways. They may completely connect with Archangel Michael a completely different way than I do. That's fine. The goal is you want to trust your intuition, because guess what? That intuition is your soul. Your soul is what you want to be trusting. Your soul, honestly. So, the last zodiac sign here, Pisces, it's these are the seeds of energy that go through, and you're kind of wrapping things up. So when we get into this, so here's some of the themes, or some of the things that you might feel in the Saturn in Pisces, if you want to jot these down. So you might be wanting to revisit or look at your traditions and your beliefs of your ancestors. You want to just look at, why did they believe that way? Do I still want to believe that way? Or do I? What do you want to honor? What do you want to keep? What do you want, things like that. Understanding where you came from, you might have that going through. Not everybody. You might pick up on some of this. The creativity, if you struggle with the Saturn energy a little bit, you might feel stuck or held back. When that happens, that's where you want to go, okay, I know it's not trying to hold me back. It's trying to show me something, so I make a better choice here and find a better way for my creative outlet here. You want to look at it that way. At first, it might feel like the other way, and that's why I want to point that out, because that is your key right there. If it's feeling like that, go, wait a minute. I got to learn something here. And just go with that. Put that intention out there. Say, okay, it's trying to show me something because I feel kind of like stuck here. I was super excited about this and now I feel stuck. Gosh, there's something to learn. So go with it, okay? Feeling spiritually stuck, you might feel like that. Sometimes you do. And it's because if Pisces energy is so free-flowing, Saturn comes in and wants you to just be grounded spiritually. We're learning how to work that balance out. That's all there is to that. Yes, it can kind of come as a push-pull, but it's not a negative. This is really going to make us better. This is going to bring out your strengths. You'll be able to feel more confident in what you believe in, your intuitive connections that you make directly, not just listening to somebody else tell you what they are, a greater sense of grounding. You will feel present in what you're doing and have more compassion, and you start to become more aware, because we will have more of a connection with the Pisces, but we're going to have it in a grounded, logical way. So if that's something that seems kind of weird, this is what you'll be working on. And it will help you. Your sensitivity to higher realms will be much easier. You'll be able to pick it up. You might be able to understand and communicate with others, or your pets or your animals, and all that. You might find that you will hear them, and that's good. So you might see that there might be some things around religion or issues with that, which I think we're already seeing some of that. But there's a need for rebalance, and you might find there's a give and receive here. So this energy is good. I'm actually looking forward to it. I know that Saturn will challenge, and at the same time, I don't want to be afraid to step out in that energy that comes from the creative side. That's me personally. So I look forward to that. When I asked Michael again, it's like, some people get really freaked out and go, whoa, Saturn, that makes me nervous of the future. You don't want to have a fear of the future. No. Actually, it's more about losing your fear of the future, not being afraid. Every time you hear the word Saturn, the Lord of Karma, oh no. It's all that ingrained belief of being afraid of everything. You don't want to be afraid of that. You don't want to be afraid of your beliefs or where your connection is, because that's who we really are. So here, now you can chart, and I'm going to tell you how to do it. You would need to go do this homework yourself though. But you can chart, Saturn in your Pisces cycle, okay, in your chart. So the last time, now here's another way to do it. You ready? The last time Saturn moved through Pisces, and if you can think back, 1994 to 1996, what was going on for you then? Were you here? Were you born? I know, that was a while back. So, I know, I was here. So, what was going on for you in that time? That was the last time Saturn was in Pisces. So look at 94 to 96. if you can recall what was going on. That'll give you, if you can remember that far back, you know, think about what was coming up for you that time. It doesn't mean that you'll repeat it. Okay, it just might be similar, or you'll level up on something, or you'll find that you make a different choice this time and it's much better, and it's like, boom, it's done, you know? So you're looking at that. If you know your birthday, another way, that's one way to do it. You can kind of relate to see, that's how you can figure it out. Another way is your birth chart. You can see which house is ruled by Pisces in your birth chart. Okay? If you don't know anything about the birth chart and you don't know, don't worry about it. Just pay attention to the themes that are coming up right now. Between March 7 and now, the last couple of days, what's going on for you right now? And you can do it that way. That's like right here, right now, and you'll know what that is. So look at that. You'll get some insights on maybe what Saturn and Pisces will bring for you. And then you have a new moon on February 19th, which is wrapping up. It's a new beginning, but it's also a wrapping up. So whatever issue Saturn and Pisces brings, or what lesson, or what growth opportunity, I like to call them that because it gives it a little less discouragement. You can expect that area of your life to have a little bit of leveling up, or challenge, whatever you want to call it. So, like, if there's a lot of learning to do on our soul path, this is the growth in it, okay? So here's some questions you could ask yourself. All right, I am really hitting this hard because Saturn is here. And here we are. He's like, teach, teach, teach. And I'm like, I'm just sharing, sharing, sharing. So here we go. What does your spirituality mean to you? How important is it to you? These are questions to ask yourself, kind of like a journal prompt. Like, what does it mean to you? How important is it? Is it being questioned, challenged? Things like that. These are questions to ask yourself. Where can I take responsibility for the dreams and creative ideas and visions that I have? What can I do about it? Yeah, what can I do about it? You're not going to relate to every one of these. These are in general for everybody, and you're going to feel which one comes up for you. What are some tangible things that you could do to bring your visions and dreams into reality? Yeah, there's one. How can I better understand myself, my true self, my thoughts, my feelings about a particular situation? How can I listen and be honest with that? What does my intuition share with me when I am quiet and I listen? You know, things like that. How does religion make you feel? How can you better express yourself? Those are things you can ask yourself in this Saturn Pisces energy that we're going to have for a bit. So that's the gist. I want to go over and say hello to everyone and see how everybody's doing. Oh my goodness. Let's see here. We have... Hello, Michelle. We have Lisa. Hi. Robin, Aunt Karen, Pamela, Candace. Journey to Becoming Me. Hi, I've missed you guys too. Life Coach Megan. Hello, hello, hello. Let's see. Melissa. Lisa. Okay, Lisa. Well, okay. All right, she got diagnosed with breast cancer. I'm not sure. And had a double mastectomy instead of radiation and keeping my breast. It was like a guide came in and made that decision easier than I thought it would be. I'm so happy with my decision, no regrets. I'm healthy and stronger in many ways. Well, we are with you, girl. Wow. And sending you so much love. Was this just recent? And I just want you to know that you took the courage to listen, and you listened and you trusted what was right for you. I'm totally supportive of whatever was the right decision for you, because that's a big deal. There's a challenge for you, but you trusted what was right for you. And I'm sending you so much love. Hello to Emerald, good morning to you. Pamela, I did something last weekend because I heard my dear friend who passed 5.5 years ago. I moved on what she said. It was my way of honoring her. I need to ground myself better so I can always hear. Gotcha. Gotcha. Hello, Royster girl. And relaxing meditations. We missed you. Well, you know what, guys? I always miss you too. And it's always good to see these faces. I mean, not everybody's here every single week live because we have lives and we have obligations. And I just want you guys to appreciate each other because we have such a beautiful group. I still haven't given up on some of the things I'm working on. There's been a lot of technical issues, and I know. And I'm having to be patient with that too. I'm waiting for the right thing, but we have each other here, right here, just like this. I encourage you, if you don't already, it's getting a little interesting out there. I'm definitely here with the YouTube channel and my website. I definitely encourage you to follow or get on the newsletter to know what's going on, because I'm not necessarily putting a whole lot out there on the social medias. It's an energy out there sometimes that I've never really been a big one for that. But I just want you to know the website is always going to be the main place to go. If you can't seem to find out what's going on, I'm not saying I'm going to disappear, but I'm not worrying so much about 12 different social medias, if you get my drift. I'm here on this channel here and on the website. So just letting you know. I am on Pinterest. I put it on that too. So I'm focusing on YouTube and Pinterest at the moment. So just so you know. I want everyone to know that this is not a time to get concerned. I don't want you to feel stressed. I want you to know angels are always with you. This show was in general for everyone. This show wasn't about individual readings. And there isn't time now anyway, because this information was such a big deal. I mean, I spent some serious time looking to see where Pisces was for me and mine. And I encourage you to explore when you get excited about an idea or something creative or something in your belief, or you have this connection with your angels. That's definitely going to be easier in this energy. And the more that we lean into that, even though you might feel that you want to run and you feel Saturn's pulling on you a little bit, like, hold on, don't go so fast. It's doing that to protect you and show you something to make things better for you moving down. So when you go, I just want to go, listen to what Saturn wants to show you. Listen. And if you're not sure what's going on with that, ask your angels. Michael's going to be fantastic for this, because he is going to be really good when you feel that. Because why? Gabriel as well. Gabriel is a very good angel to go to for the communication and the creative side of things, you know, anything like that, something you want to, and looking at something from a different perspective. Michael's going to be really good when you feel frustrated or you feel challenged and you don't want to be afraid of what's going on. You want to find a way to be strong in it, embrace it, take responsibility, face it, don't lie to yourself kind of thing, and just go, hey. Michael is a very logical, he's very organized, he's fantastic as a career counselor, he's fantastic as a personal life counselor, he's great for when fears, it's about losing the fear, not getting into the fear. So you're going to see a lot out there that's going to want to try to keep you in fear. I'm telling you right now, this whole energy cycle is about losing that fear. And there's some wisdom in that. It's not being careless. It's not being irresponsible. It's about logical balance, being responsible, but not being afraid to explore your growth, your opportunities, your beliefs, your intuition, your spiritual connection. It's going to be a lot easier. One of the best things you can do is to sit quiet after you ask a question, and just be in gratitude. You don't even have to try to listen. Just be in gratitude that they are always there for you. And then go about your day, and then the most interesting things will pop up. They'll just come up for you. And you'll find an alternative. You'll find a solution. And it's going to challenge us. It's going to be, okay, it's time to do things all kinds of different ways. It will. It'll do that. And I don't even know how to say that any other way than that. It's just, we have to be open and just accept it. And so, like for me, the last couple of weeks, I just had to be okay with it. I was like, oh, I want to be gone for 2 weeks on them, but I needed to accept it and go with it. And as it unfolded, I could see why. I was like, wow, okay, you're being really clear about that. So that's why I wasn't here for 2 weeks. So that's how it is, guys. What I want you to know is I love you all. I want you to know that you're appreciated here. And I am sending a whole lot of love and support and energy to each and every one of you out there. As we walk through this energy together, and we go through this, and we're part of the shift. We're in the shift. We're going through the challenges. We're going through the changes. But as you are going through them, know that you're supported. Know that you're not by yourself. Know that you can do this, and there's nothing, it's about losing the fear. If you have to put that on a sticky note somewhere, put it somewhere. Okay, when you feel it, you're like, no, that's not what it's about. It's about losing the fear, not being in fear. That's the gateway. I'm just saying, that's the gateway. I love you guys, and I'm going to let everyone go because there's a lot going on over here too. But I want you to not see this as discouragement. This is really a way to bring something that you've really been wanting to do. Maybe you're just going through your awakening. This is going to help you do that too. This is a way to find a pathway through something that you've maybe been trying to do for a really long time. I'm planning to work with that way, and I hope you will too. And with that, I'm going to say goodbye to everyone, and I will see you next time here on the Jenn Royster Show. Namaste.
You've been listening to the Jenn Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life. Dr. Jenn Royster is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Imagine having the ability to use your innate positive energy to dissolve the stuckness in your life, whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual, through this incredible dynamic show. If you've missed any part of this show or any other show, visit www